Hey, hi, Terry here. Just having some fun with my new personal carry pocket gun. This thing is just too much fun, man. This is a pattern 1738 land service pistol issued to the British Heavy Horse Cavalry, also called by different names, Lancers, Dragoons, etc. And this is also called a Heavy Dragoon. Just got it in, and man, this thing is fun. 62 caliber, smooth bore. Look at that. How would you like to be looking down that when somebody pulls the trigger, huh? Very cool, very nice. I'm going to tell you all about this, but first I want to tell you about the company that I got this from. They're called Veteran Arms, and they are based in Georgia. They've been in business for a few years, and they specialize in making historically accurate, shootable, obviously, reproductions of military issue firearms, mostly from the 18th century back, mostly. And I've even seen them with an arquebus, several different matchlocks. I think I've even seen a 14th century handgun, G-O-N-N-E, on there one time. May have been a different site, but it seems like I saw it on their site. Obviously, pistols, all right? Some accessories and accoutrements, but mostly the firearms themselves. And their market is actually geared toward museums who want historically accurate but shootable display pieces, serious collectors, and serious reenactors. And if you are a serious collector or a serious reenactor, you know what the word serious means. You know how picky people can get, right? And if you want to know how popular Veteran Arms is, I ordered this for my birthday in January. It is now July, and I just got it. And no, it's not because they're slow. It's because it took that long to get all of the back orders ahead of me done before they could get to making mine. This is the first firearm that I have bought from them. Trust me, you will not be my last. They've got blunderbusses. If it's one octopus but two octopi, why isn't it one blunderbuss but two blunderby? As I said, this is the first firearm that I purchased from them. It was well worth the wait, as I'm going to show you when I get into this. I'm going to put a link to their website in the comment section down below this video. If you're not familiar with them, if you've not seen their website, if you haven't bought anything from them, by all means go check them out. I have found them to be very personable, very helpful, very patient with me, and that could give you an idea of just how patient they are if they put up with me for 6 months waiting to get this thing, right? Otherwise, just, I mean, in general, just good people to do business with. So click on the website, check them out. But if you want to order something, okay, order it now and plan to get in it for Christmas. And unless they may already have it in shop, you might get lucky. They may have it in stock. But count on a 6-month waiting list. So, Veteran Arms. Now, on to the gun. As I said, this is a pattern 1738 land service pistol issued to the British Heavy Horse units. These were the kind of guys that if you were a foot soldier, you did not want to see coming at you. It was actually produced from 1715 up until about 1781, and a lot of these even saw service in the Americas during the War of 1812, so right up into 1814, 1815, you know, you would have seen these things. That's 100 years of service. Everything about this is massive. I mean, you've got, look at the, let me turn it around here and look at the screws on it. I mean, massive, heavy screws. The springs are just massive springs. Good, sturdy construction. The working themselves is really hard. And just the spring for the frizzen. This is not something that, this is not like my Lyman flintlock where you can just cock this thing with one hand. This is a two-handed weapon. This is something that you cock like this, okay? You don't cock it like this. You cock it this way. And the trigger pull is extremely heavy. Let me try to show you this. It's not loaded. Don't worry, all you safety rangers out there, it's not loaded. But check this out. I really have to pull on that. I haven't measured exactly what the pull is yet, but it's multiple pounds. And that makes sense when you think about it, because, think about it. You're a heavy horse cavalry soldier, right? You're in the middle of combat. You're on a horse that's bucking, kicking, jumping and bouncing around. You pull this thing out, you cock it, you got pointed up in the air before, you pick out a target to shoot. The last thing you want is a negligent or unintentional discharge, because you're pumped up on adrenaline, right? And you don't want to squeeze that trigger and this thing go off. Oh crap, now what do? Okay? There's no negligent discharge with this. There's no accidental discharge with this. That trigger pull is so hard, it is every bit a deliberate act, pulling that trigger. That's what you want, and that's also historically accurate. It's not poor workmanship on the part of the people who made it. It was designed into it. Also, you'll notice that the barrel and the lock and all, right, trigger is not browned and not blued, and this is not a silver finish. This is not Parkerized. This is the iron. This is the bare steel. Steel today. It would have been wrought iron in the 18th century, but today it's steel. But this is bare steel. And in the sun, this is something that's really cool, is when you get out in the sun and you look at the barrel, you can even see the sanding, the fine sanding, the brush marks where it was, burnished, finished. That's also very historically accurate. The vast majority of standard military issue weapons were not browned or blued. It added to the cost. Okay, for every, I'm going to make up some numbers here because I don't know the actual number, but for every 10, say, muskets that a factory could produce under contract with all the browned parts, you could produce 1 or 2 more that weren't browned. If you just cut that step out and save that money. And so cleanliness, of course, and maintenance were very critical and very strict. So they took care of their weapons. If they weren't shooting them, they were cleaning them. It was basically what it came down to. So, big, massive, heavy, sturdy, powerful. The balance is not bad. It's a little front heavy. It's not something that you're going to spin and twirl around. In fact, it's something that you can easily shoot two-handed, or even like this from the hip. Maybe that's what that bulge is for, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, this trigger pull is so strong. I can see some people, children, some women, some men, not being able to fire this thing. Maybe with 2, fingers on the trigger, maybe. But this is a serious trigger pull, which also interferes with accuracy. But, it is every bit a point and shoot weapon, because if you'll notice, there are no sights on it. You don't aim in an 18th century battle. You point and you shoot. Another thing about this, I almost forgot to mention, is after you fired your one shot, you got yourself one hell of a club, man. You've seen the Iroquois War Club, it's kind of curved around with the ball on the end. That's basically what you've got here. Man, that thing could, big heavy brass plate, little bulb there on it, man, that thing is going to knock somebody on their tailbone. So, enough chit chat. Let's go out and look for some French soldiers. Okay, so here we are back out in the deep dark forest. And as you can see, we've got the General Marquis de Melancombe escorted by 4 of his personal guards. And I don't know what they're doing out here in the forest, but I got to take them out. Now, if you didn't catch the pun, okay, that's a play on an event that happened in 1757 during the French and Indian War in the American colonies, in which the French general, General Marquis de Montcalm, along with about a half a dozen other titles, laid siege to Fort William Henry. One of the true events, actually one of the only two true events, that happened in the book and the movies Last of the Mohicans. Last one done by Michael Mann. Great movie, by the way, if you've ever seen it. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. Not great history as far as specific events go, but you could say historically accurate as far as the look, the feel, the weapons, you know, the clothes, the mannerisms, that kind of stuff. You just don't want to read too much into the storyline. Okay, so we've got the General Marquis de Montcalm. I'm going to take him out, then I'm going to take his guards out. Wow. To keep that in perspective, my 1860 44 caliber Army only punched a hole in it. I blew the general's head off. So let's reload and try it again. Okay, let's see if I can take out one of his guards. I was actually aiming low on the watermelon and I hit it high. It's this trigger pull. This is something to get used to. I've not had a weapon with this heavy of a trigger pull before. So I'm going to try two-handed and see how that works. Man, this is too much fun, man. Jesus. Wow. And, you know, it just occurred to me that I haven't showed you how to load this yet, which to me in a lot of videos seems kind of silly because I think everybody should know how to load a flintlock, you know, but maybe somebody out there watching doesn't really know how to do it. So I'm going to show you how this thing is loaded. First, you put it on half cock, close the frizzen down. Now we're going to put, and this is kind of hard to do with a pistol, much easier with a musket, but let's see what works here. We're going to put, that's not, 30 grains of triple F powder down the muzzle. And black powder, by the way, this is my own black powder. The substitutes, the new stuff like 777 or Pyrodex, I haven't tried them, but everything I've read says they don't work very well in these, especially in the flash pan. So I'm going to take a greased patch. I'm going to push that down in there just a little bit, hold it, while I get out a ball. And this is a 58 caliber lead ball. And the reason I'm using 58, we're going to put that on it, push it down, is I've actually read various sources on the internet saying that a .60 diameter ball is the correct size ball to use in a 62 caliber weapon. And the first one I shot through it, I have a bullet mold and I made some 60 caliber or .60 inch lead balls, and the first couple shot very well. The first one slid right down, second one was a little bit harder, and then after that it just got progressively harder to the point that after shooting 2 or 3 or 4 rounds, I've basically got to take a half-inch wooden dowel and a hammer and just beat that ball down. Right in here there is a rough spot. This is where it hangs up. It'll go down easily here, it gets caught right here, and then once I get it past that, it'll go on down. And then I can shoot it without a patch, and I can shoot a .60 ball, which is bigger than a .58. I'm going to have to take this barrel off probably and run some emery cloth or something down in here and clean that. It's not a burr probably, it's probably just some scratches in the barrel left over from when it was polished. So we're going to take our ramrod, we're going to push that ball down, seat it all the way, put that back. We're going to get our powder pan back out. And I don't use 4F in the flash pan. You can. I use 3F basically in everything. Some of the guns I'm going to be testing later on need 2F, and so that's why I'm started to make some. When you watch my black powder video, you'll see I'm making some double F. But I find it's just easier just to use triple F and everything. And it works. I mean, it may not flash quite as fast as a 4F, but it works. And we're going to put a little flash powder in here in the flash pan. I'm sorry, I'm doing it like this. I can see it. What, you can't see me holding it down by my waist? We're going to put a little powder in the flash pan. Okay, we're going to close that up. And you see how the two are almost together? Yeah. The frizzen kind of protects that flint. And in a typical flintlock, you can get probably about 80 shots, maybe, on the same flint. This one I've only shot a few times. It's working fine. So then we're ready to shoot, and there's no double set triggers on this, so we just cock it, point it, and shoot it. Wow, man, I love it. Let's get some more. The pattern, 1738 Land Service Pistol in 60 or 62 caliber, available from Veteran Arms in Georgia. Get your order in now if you want it by Christmas. This is July, and I'm not joking. Thanks for watching. Hey, I'm back. I got everything loaded up and ready to haul out. And I had a couple of bullets left, so I thought I might finish up with one more shot from the enemy's point of view.